We've qualified for the World Cup. Go and compete.
I am going to start us off, and I'm going to suggest we don't talk about football today.
Cool.
Oh, yeah.
If by all means, if you want to, but I have nothing to say on football in its current state.
Fair enough.
It's a tough sell for a football podcast, but we'll try.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what to talk about, but
Oh, fuck.
I have no suggestions. But I mean, all our teams lost this weekend, so why would we bother? The only good thing that happened was Spurs beat City.
I know, and I can't even enjoy that.
Exactly.
Yeah. I had two topics that are non-football, maybe to get the chatter going.
Oh, yeah.
The first one, I had a wonderful dinner this evening. I had a roast.
Oh, yeah, me
roast
too.
chicken.
I had the roast chicken too.
We're men of class.
Yeah.
Which we knew, but now it's confirmed.
I had lasagna out of a tin. So
A tin.
you know is it O'Carroll's one? Like you put it in the oven, but it's in the foil. Yeah, I mean
those got me through like college, to be honest. So
they're solid, but it's definitely no roast chicken. But I'm not gonna cook a roast chicken for one. Fuck that.
No.
Food is not proportioned for one. You know, it's hard.
It's true. It's true. Unless you want to eat the same meal for 4 days.
Yeah. Actually, well, what were you going to say about the roast?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I just wanted to see where you guys sit on like roast parsnips.
Oh yeah.
For or against.
4, I think.
Yeah.
They can be easy to overcook though.
True. They can go black quick.
That's it. Yeah.
I mean, they wouldn't be my favorite, but they're fine. Yeah. I mean, look, a roast is just about the potatoes. If anyone says otherwise, it's lies.
I think the meat is more important.
What about the stuffing?
Oh, stuffing is crucial. Absolutely crucial. Yeah.
I don't really eat stuffing.
Okay.
It's just time, like that's all you fucking taste is time.
I
Just
was
have a fistful of time.
I was thinking today about how many recipes and how many things we eat are just ways of using up stale bread. Stuffing being the main one. But even just toast is just what do we do with this fucking stale bread? The bread's gone shit. So we'll burn it a little, put a little butter on it, and it tastes good. We figured out so many ways to make stale bread useful. It's great. But because I think that there might be nothing better than really fresh bread with just a bit of butter. I feel like it's the most basic thing. Literally the most basic food you could have, bread and butter. But it's like everything else is trying to compete with that. Like everything else is like dealing. That's the foundation of all food, really. Because it's so simple and it's so good.
Hard to disagree. It's hard to disagree.
God, I mean, I might disagree. Fresh bread and butter is the best food in the world. Is that what we're saying? I don't think I can sign off on that.
Oh God, it's very high up there.
I could
for the feeling, right? Like
what feeling? Taste?
Like taste and warmth and comfort.
Texture, smell.
Texture, smell, exactly. Simplicity. You don't want to be fucking reducing it like a sauce for like 6 days.
It even sounds good. It sounds good when you cut through bread with a bread knife. The crunch, and then you get through into the soft part, and it's like slides through it.
That's a great point. You know, butter is probably one of the nicest named foods because then you think of like ham. It's not appealing.
No. That was my first word.
Was it?
Yeah, well, hammy actually, but yeah.
What?
You'd seen Michael Owen tug out. Is it? You're like, oh, hammy.
No, my parents said that they didn't even hear me say it. There was like some fella working on the house, like some construction work or something in the house at the time, and they think I was looking at like the hammer on his tool belt or something. And I said hammy, and he was the one who heard me say it.
Yeah, that's a bit of a stretch. You know? It sounds like you were just babbling, and they were like, "Yeah, he
Hammy?
said hammer."
Maybe he said it to get like increase his price.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Puts that in the invoice.
That's it, yeah, childcare.
Taught child first word.
I don't think I can get on board with the bread thing. Maybe I'm wrong on that. I think there's probably 100 things better than fresh bread and butter, but that's fine. Do you like bread and butter pudding? Because that's another thing that's like stale bread, basically, isn't it?
I don't love it really, to be honest.
Yeah,
Because
it's a real
Yeah.
old person.
oh, it's so
thing.
old person. Like fucking dried fruit and anything with dried fruit, I don't have any mind for.
Yeah, we've moved
Yeah.
past that, haven't we? Like,
Yeah.
we're away from needing to preserve things by pickling them or
Yeah.
drying
Well,
them.
well, to be honest, pickling now I could get on board with. A good pickle.
It's
mm,
true.
I can I'd open up a jar of pickles and I'd just eat one or two and put the jar
Mhm.
back in the fridge and I'd be happy.
you know-
Yeah, I'm with you on
Yeah.
that. Have you had pickled eggs? They're fucking rotten.
No.
They're disgusting. And I like eggs. I'd eat eggs every day, but pickled eggs are gack.
I've never even seen them, but I know I've seen them in like American TV shows, usually in like the bar. Like they'd have a big jar of pickled eggs up on the bar counter. And I just think they must be the worst fucking thing possible to eat at a like a pub. Communal fucking pickled eggs out of a big
Oh,
jar.
Yeah. People sticking their fucking dirty hands in them.
The worst fucking thing.
I saw someone suggest that as a substitute for cheese, you take out like the yolk of an egg, you store it in salt and sugar for like 7 days, and then the yolk gets like preserved, and then you grate it, and it's a substitute for cheese. It's bonkers.
What?
Mm,
Yeah, it's a thing.
We'll have to fact check that, I think, because that sounds nonsense.
An egg yolk salesman told you this.
I bought 100
So like a raw egg yolk just gets preserved with, what did you say, salt and what?
sugar.
Salt and sugar usually, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm,
And it gets like, it looks like when it's preserved or when it's finished, it's preserving. I don't know what the term is, but after 7 days, it's like rock hard. It looks like a orange Baby Bell, if you remember Baby Bells.
I only liked them for the wax to throw on the ceiling in school.
I thought you were going to say to eat on bread with butter.
Mm,
Delicious.
there's not much better than a buttered Baby Bell wax casing.
I think we actually went to Connor's for dinner there a couple of weeks back, and when I got there, like, I guess you were hosting, so you wanted to make sure people liked but you were like, "Are you okay with this cheese and this cheese and this cheese?" And I was like, "You know, actually, I'm good with any cheese. I think any cheese you could give me, I'd eat it. The only exception is cottage cheese, which I think is absolutely pointless.
Yeah.
But I mean, if it was on my plate, I wouldn't say no."
I just had it in my mind because as a child I hated Parmesan. Like I would gack it like fucking. Ugh, it would make me like get sick just the smell of it. But then I realized it was just because I was having Parmesan out of those fucking like powdered cans you keep in the fucking press, not like
okay.
real Parmesan. It was the
Dust, like.
dust and like fermented dust, basically, literally, actually, and it was disgusting. And the first time I had like proper Parmesan, it took me like decades to actually try Parmesan and give it a chance. And yeah, great, perfect. But I figured there might be a lot of people at the dinner like me, like a young Connor Flynn, who were averse to Parmesan because we had a bad experience with it.
Because it was just sawdust, like.
Rotten.
Actually, speaking of that, I was thinking today, because I was thinking about you cook spaghetti bolognese, and it was very delicious, very nice, and I thought you cooked the pasta really well. Now,
Great.
I went to Italy, and I had pasta, and what I would have thought the way you cooked it was al dente. What I
Right.
had in Italy was like hard,
Oh yeah.
and I have to assume that they did it right. Like, they're the Italians, they know how to cook it. But if I cooked that and I ate it, I'd be like, oh shit, I didn't cook the pasta enough.
Mhm.
So I don't know. Have you guys had proper al dente pasta?
No, I've never been to Italy or anything. I'd love to. That's my dream, is to go to Italy and just eat a load of fucking food. And I'll probably be disappointed when I do, based on stories like this. But like, to me, al dente was what I did, which is like just the center is just barely like a tiny little line of white. Not like, it's still soft. Like you could, like a baby could chew it, but there's just a tiny bit of hardness in there.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
think they consider that overcooked, which like
You know,
that's how I like it.
I always said that the people who know the least about Italian cooking are the Italians.
I was going to say, do we give the Italians a bit too much credit here? Because like I haven't had proper al dente pasta, but is the Russa grill a good representation of West Cork cuisine? Just because it's in West Cork,
Mhm. I mean, I
I
have we
thought,
guess.
undercooked your
I thought,
pasta?
I thought you were going to say the Rossa Grill is an example of Italian cuisine.
It could be
Yeah, they have the
Greece.
Italian flag. Yeah,
I mean, did they invent pasta? Is that how it works? I
I
don't know.
mean, they
They
claim
stole
it,
it.
but like I'd say, fucking pasta. Pasta's just like flour, water, and egg. They've probably been making that in fucking caveman times.
Yeah, that everything is
They're
just flour, water, and egg, isn't it?
Yeah,
they're all at
they're all at
it.
it, making pasta.
Well, I like softer pasta than what I got in Italy, and
Mm.
it was only the one time I had pasta in Italy because I think the other times I just had like pizza and something else.
Like,
So,
I think Italian cuisine is the top cuisine, but like, you know, the way Italians are so particular about it, like pineapple on pizza to them, many of them, like fucking mortal sin. But it's like you go to Italy and it's a lot more divided than you might think. Ireland is fairly like the same all over. I mean, there's not that much difference in how people cook and eat all over the country, as far as I can tell. But I think in Italy, there would be people who would think it's like a mortal sin to like put like butter, or like to put butter in the pasta instead of olive oil or something like that. Whereas some regions would be like, that's how you do it, and olive oil is a sin or whatever. And they'd go fucking ballistic about it. And they all have their own way of doing it. And they all think the other ones are like fake Italians. Like theirs is the authentic way. And
yeah,
they all claim they invented pizza as well, but fuck it.
Yeah.
I was just thinking if someone came to Ireland and you had to showcase Irish cuisine, like what would you recommend? I have
Tripe.
no idea.
Tripe and cheese.
Tripe.
Yeah.
Our beef is meant to be really good, isn't it?
I think
Yeah.
so. Well, I mean, sorry to bring it back to fucking butter again, but like, to be fair, I've been to other countries and I never thought of it. Like, I always thought Irish cuisine was shite, like true bottom of the barrel, complete fucking, like we didn't have any. Like it was fucking black puddings, like if that, just probably English anyway, but like we had nothing going for us. And then I go to other countries and I have like butter, and their butter is so weird and like white, coming in like these little tubs or whatever. It's like fucking
Mm-hmm.
plastic, no taste of it. And that's one of the things that I'm saying, is that bread and butter in Ireland is incredible. But if I went to fucking even places like France, where like they claim to be like the height of food, the fucking butter you'd buy in the supermarket is shite. Complete fucking rotten shite. Like that's the biggest thing Ireland has going for it. I think it's like dairy. Anything
That's
dairy.
yeah,
See-
that's pretty true.
Seafood too, right? I find the
Yeah.
seafood quality is very high.
Even though we
Guess we're
don't
an
eat
island.
it for some reason.
Yeah, that's it. But like if you go, like I always see on those YouTube channels that do kind of like the food adventures, I don't know, whatever you call them, when they go down to like New Orleans, you know, and they have those big, I
Yeah.
don't know what they call them, the big
Yeah,
cook
yeah.
pots. Like it just looks like shite, like mush.
Yeah.
All these random shrimps thrown in. Whereas I think we do have a high quality of seafood.
Yeah.
But like the seafood doesn't have to go far to get onto your plate, whereas if you're in fucking Germany or something, it's got to be probably flown in, you know?
Mm.
So kind of makes sense. I came across this video on YouTube the other day, and he must be some guy who like rates food places, but he's in the UK, and he was like, right, that's
Gordon
it. I'm
Ramsay.
over in Ireland. And
Oh, I saw this.
when I said I was coming to Ireland, everyone said Supermax. You have to go to Supermax.
Oh, for fuck's
Now,
sake.
I would never fucking rate Supermax. I
No,
think
well.
Supermax is shit. It's only
Mhm.
people in like Connemara rate Supermax. And sure enough, he had it, and I think he gave it a 0 out of 10.
The
Yeah.
only thing I really like from Supermax is the breast and the bun. That's only because other fast food places don't do it. Like if McDonald's did breast and the bun, it would probably be better than Supermax.
Yeah. The only thing he
Agreed.
seemed to like was the taco chips. Was that the one you saw, Kieran?
Yeah, it's the same guy. He did like a spice bag review as well and a chicken roll, I think.
Right.
Yeah. He's just this big English geezer, isn't he? Trying to like
Yeah.
make a joke every sentence. But yeah, it's true. But it was like, I don't know. It was like centre of Dublin too, like, and it was late, so it was clearly just the late shift like chefs just serving out slop, and he was there going in thinking this would be like high end cuisine, but it was
Yeah.
like fucking the burger was in shit, really.
Yeah.
And he was like asking the guy behind the counter, like, what do you recommend? And he was like, oh, and you think it's great, do you? Do you think it's great? And he was like, yep.
Yeah.
Instead of there in his head being like minimum wage, I'm on minimum wage.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Those kind of videos are coming to an end now. I think their life cycle is ending. You know, the whole easy, just half vlogging, half just I'll go here, film myself doing something and have a chat while I do it. I think they're coming to an end now, surely.
TikTok, man, they're all over TikTok. TikTok is great, by the way. For anyone who's not on TikTok, go on it.
Like,
Get your algorithm going, and it is a fucking game changer. It like kills time because it doesn't tell you how long the video is, so you can start watching a video. And I swear to God, the little meter at the bottom like moves really quick at the start, and then it slows down in the middle. So you think it's going to only be like a 1 minute video, and like 6 minutes later it ends. So if you're in a waiting room or something, put in the headphones, and it's amazing. But yeah, there's like loads of guys on TikTok that do that shit. There's a guy in Cork, and he's so annoying. That thing of trying to be funny, and he'll like go to KC's or something. He'll be like, "It's absolute dirt. It's absolute shit. Look at the slap."
Jeez. Wow.
that was
Wrecked
great.
my head. Thanks. Maybe I should do it.
Yeah, please. Let's get you down the Russa Grill. Stat.
I was watching the show called Only Connect the other day, which is like a program where it's like they give you these keywords all on this board or whatever, and you have to find a pattern. And like one of the categories I think was Irish food. So they had stuff up on the board mixed in with other things, and they had to figure out what crubbeans were, what Colcannon, champ, like what the connection was. And they were like, in the end they got it. It was like Irish food or whatever. But I just realized like half of what they put on the board was mashed potato with something put into it. Like champ, I think, is just mashed potato and onion. Colcannon is mashed potato and cabbage. Like, and crabbeans is just pig's feet, which I don't think any other country would willingly eat. Like they must look at us eating these and just think, oh, these fucking idiots, like what are they doing? These fucking morons.
But then the French eating snails, I mean, that's fucked up.
That's mad.
In the Philippines, they eat like fertilized eggs. So there's like a little chicken in it.
Yeah.
Fucking hell, like.
Delicious.
Well,
Yeah, but who goes,
I'll give them credit that they don't eat it and they don't say, oh no, it's fine. All you have to do is put some garlic, parsley, and butter on it, and they taste fine. They actually just eat the fucking bird as it is, and they're like, delicious. Whereas the French are like, oh no, don't worry, trust us. These snails taste great. drowning them in the trio, like the cheat code trio. Garlic, parsley, butter. Fuck off.
There's a YouTube channel called Good Mythical Morning, not a sponsor, and they do a lot of those kind of food challenges where they'll like pick a random thing and try and make like, make it a taco. So they'll get like a beef burger and try and make it into a taco, and then they'll get like salmon and try and make it into a taco, and they do all these weird things. But recently they did like their worst ever dishes, and the worst thing that they just couldn't stomach was blood. Like they'd have like, maybe it was a blood taco, but they made like blood cake, they made blood whatever, and every time they puked. It was nuts.
Sorry, the blood cake.
Yeah, I'm trying to process this. Like,
Yeah,
was it congealed or like runny?
yeah. Well, it was a blood taco, I think. So it was like a lump of solid blood, like I guess clotted blood, in just a taco shell, and they had to try and taste it and rate it, and they were just puking every time. And bile, they'd have like they made a bile cheesecake. So I guess it was just normal cheesecake, but the flavor was bile, and it was drizzled in bile, and they were like trying to eat it. It's like a family show. It's not even like, you know, R-rated or anything, but it's just these guys. They do lots of other things where they just taste like every Dorito flavor and rate them. They do loads of stuff. It's pretty funny, but they're really American and like really quite annoying sometimes. But I'd recommend it. Good Mythical Morning, not a sponsor.
Interesting.
Yeah, and with the Americans, they would say that in Ireland, like our number one food is potatoes. But like realistically, like how often a week do you eat potatoes? I'd say twice a week, probably.
Mm,
It's
yeah.
it's tricky. I mean, I do eat a lot of pasta and rice as well, but like potatoes are so versatile, you know? Chips.
Yeah,
Potatoes are
Mash.
fucking incredible.
they are.
Yeah.
They are. But the stereotype is that we'd be eating them breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
I suppose we
I don't
used to.
even.
I know, yeah.
Yeah. Not anymore.
Just potatoes
No.
and buttermilk, like.
And butter.
I mean, roast potatoes are 100 times better than fresh bread with butter, in my opinion. But we'll have a vote.
Can't we
Comment.
enjoy both?
Comment, like, subscribe. Tell us what you prefer.
I think
Lots.
people, like, when they think fresh bread and butter, they think sliced pan and some butter. But I'm talking like a really nice bit of a fresh loaf of bread, like almost still warm from the bakers. Oh,
Mm,
God, there's nothing better.
yeah. I had a homemade loaf today that someone brought over that was made with cashew nuts, olives, and can't remember the seeds, the type of seed, and it was just the best.
Jesus,
So
did
good.
did they fucking knock a bowl of fucking ingredients into it?
It sounds random, and it is, but it was
Yeah,
good.
why doesn't anyone bring me that kind of bread? Who is this person?
Oh,
it's
Brennan.
a secret, is it? Right?
Brennan.
Who is she?
Don't tell the wife.
Imagine having an affair and your mistress brought over a loaf of bread, like fucking,
Oh,
and you'd be trying to tell your wife, like, "Oh, I made it." Yeah.
yeah.
How?
I can
You could-
see breadcrumbs on your collar.
I heard that there's some famous couple recently broke up. I think it's Miley Cyrus and that Hemsworth guy.
All right.
No, it was actually Shakira and PK. And Shakira
Oh,
found
yeah.
out that PK was cheating because someone had been eating her jam.
And and Pika doesn't eat
And
jam.
PK didn't eat the jam, so her
Yeah.
jam was opened, and she was like, "Hang on a second."
Story here.
And that was it.
Yeah.
But imagine bringing your mistress over and she fucking tucks into the jam as well. Like, I mean, what
Yeah.
a tickle.
Yeah. Gotta set boundaries for that,
Tucks into
No-
the jam.
But the
Dougal.
disrespect, like, whatever about riding the husband and sleeping in the bed. Stay
Clean
away
the
from the
pantry.
girl's jam, like.
I mean, this is the thing.
Well, maybe that was the whole. Maybe she wasn't into PK at all. She was just mad for the jam. You know,
Fucking
like
hell.
the equivalent of buying her dinner. Like, you know,
There's
she
easier
just-
ways to get fucking jam.
She puts out and just gets to go to town
Yeah.
on the jam.
Someone show Shakira Tesco. It should be.
I want to fact check this. We have to find out what this delectable jam is.
Yeah, but this is it. Maybe it was like homemade. Maybe there was something really special about it.
Mm.
Maybe, like the two men of class on this podcast, she enjoyed the jam with fresh loaf bread, butter. I think that would be
Maybe.
nice too.
Have you had gooseberry jam?
No.
Yeah,
Ooh,
it's a bit sharper,
that's-
isn't it?
That's serious stuff. Yeah, that'll put
More-
hairs on your chest.
More seeds too.
Yeah, because I mean, jam is terribly overrated in my opinion, but gooseberry jam is up there.
No, I think as a child, I think I ate a whole raw gooseberry once or something and put me off them forever. Like Parmesan, maybe.
I feel we're learning a lot about your childhood. This podcast.
It was just me putting like random foodstuffs in my mouth and getting sick
and hating them for years, but now you've turned
for
a corner.
years. Yeah. I'm still holding on to mushrooms though. I still hate them.
Really?
Yeah.
That's very common though.
Yeah, it is. It doesn't make sense. You know, they're one of those things where if you're outside and you pick one up, people would say, "Do not eat that; they'll kill you." But there's a few select ones that you can have that are really tasty
and which look exactly like the deadly ones.
Yeah. I don't think we've evolved enough to trust mushrooms.
There's just something about them. Like I remember someone asked me why I don't like mushrooms or something, and I was like, well, I hate everything about them, just the taste, the texture, and even the thought of like that they're fungus or whatever. And they'd be like, well, you like cheese, like so many things are just like fungus. But I'm like, mushrooms are a different level altogether. Like I can handle a little bit because like I saw a Reddit thread where some guy was asking, how do fruit flies end up like hovering around my tomatoes on the table when I'm like on the 7th floor of an apartment building or something, miles away from anyone else? How did the fruit flies get into my place? And they're like, well, it's because the fruit flies, the eggs were already on the tomatoes. That's how it works. There's fucking eggs on everything. There's like little life forms crawling over almost everything you touch and eat, and it's best not to think about it. And it's like, yeah, fair enough. But mushrooms are a different level altogether. It's like a planet of fucking. If you took a mushroom, put it into a jar, and put some like water in it or something, just a drop of water down the bottom, and seal the jar, and come back to it in a little while, and you look at the amount of shit that has crawled out of it and fallen down and grown in it, and it's like you'd never look at them again.
You know, I think we're actually closer. I think mushrooms are closer in their like genetic makeup to us than they are to plants, which is kind of fucked up.
That's because there's all kinds of shit in mushrooms, so one of them must be close to us.
I thought you were going to say if you put it in water, it'll like grow legs or something or start swimming. Remember those little alien toys you could get?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, after watching Last of Us, mushrooms.
Don't spoil it. I haven't watched anything, but I know. Sorry, yeah, go on.
Yeah, but you know the plot.
Yeah,
I know. It's
basically
terrifying, right?
Yeah. Well, I haven't seen it, so I don't know exactly, but it has spooked a lot of people because it's kind of feasible, I guess.
What's same-sex romance?
Should give it a go.
It has spooked a lot of people.
Yeah, but I think the zombies in it are made from mushrooms.
Oh fucking hell! I knew it.
Yeah.
And I think that does happen to ants or something. Like ants can get fucked up.
Yeah, controls them, uses them as a host, keeps them alive for as long as they need. Yeah, freaky. Anyway,
I wanted to see how long that could last.
Yeah, we can't deal with awkward silences on this podcast.
No, we'll have to cut that.
Yeah, they're a bit like Chelsea's lone army. So
not going there.
Too close.
We've gone 30 minutes without talking about football. The closest we got was PK and his jam affair.
I'm happy topic 1 lasted this long.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Now on to Love Island.
You know, I actually tried to watch it, and it's the first time I gave up. I was like, it's actually just too bad. Sometimes I can get on board with it. This year I was like, I don't give a shit. I'm zoning out. I'm on my phone. I'm not watching it.
This is like the first time I've willingly watched it because like the first time I watched it was like last year or something. And I just watched it because I'd be at Emma's and she'd watch it and her housemates would watch it, and I'd just be like kind of there, and I'd be like, okay. This year I'm actually watching it even when Emma's not around, like on my own.
Oh, once you're in, you're in. Yeah. And it does kill an hour every evening, in fairness.
For someone who doesn't really hasn't really watched it but understands the concept, is it just like a group of people on an island where they try and like fabricate like scenarios for them to fight?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely is a little scripted in some ways, but it is interesting how, like, basically they'll put them in. Some years they couple up themselves, but last year was interesting because there's say 5 guys and 5 girls, and the public voted who would couple up, and then when they're coupled up for a day, they'll throw in an extra boy, and he gets to pick what girl he couples up with a day later or something. But it's so interesting how people get so possessive of people they don't even know. And they're like, well, I'm coupled up with her, and now this dickhead is coming in trying to take my girl. And it's like, she's not your girl. You didn't even know her. You don't even like her. The public coupled you up. So why are you getting possessive? But I mean, they're all just in it just to get famous, really.
Oh, sure. Like, there's people in this week, and they're like saying how much they love each other and they're going to get married or whatever. And they've known each other like a few days. Literally known each other a few days. Like,
like, how'd you win?
I forget.
People get voted out. So, like, the public, I think, every week vote for like their favorite couple. But then sometimes they'll flip it, and like the other couples have to vote someone out. So then there's a bit of backstabbing and that kind of stuff. So it can get interesting. But I mean, anyone who's been on it before, like, when they're interviewed, they're like, I didn't go into it for love whatsoever. I was just in it to try and win it, to try and get famous and try to get sponsorships. So, but there's another one called Love is Blind on Netflix. That's even worse in terms of how ridiculous it is, because it's people in pods, right? So there's the boys on one side of the house and girls on the other. And then they'll go into pods and they'll say, hi, my name is Amy. Who are you? Blah, blah, blah. And then they'll decide whose personality they like the most. But they're not allowed to see each other. They're like blocked off in these pods. So I think like a day and a half went by and a guy was like telling this girl he loved her. Like after a day, like you don't know if you love someone for like fucking, I don't know, like 6 months. A day after talking to the person you haven't even seen. And then, sure, the whole thing is then when they decide they want to, I think they spend 2 weeks together then when they're happy to couple up. And then the wall lifts and they see the person and they're like, oh, you're much more beautiful than I thought. Or they're like, oh, God, I didn't think she'd be Asian or whatever, you know? And then they fuck off for 2 weeks on a holiday and then they come back and they decide if they stay together or not. Biggest load of donkey shit I ever watched.
They obviously don't ever stay together, right?
I think a couple got married. I'm sure they did. But like, you know, you could marry someone and get a decent sponsorship and then just fucking get it annulled like a few weeks later or something, you know?
Yeah. They're all out in America.
Yeah.
Out.
Yeah.
They're all.
It sounds horrible. In fact, let's keep the people reviewing food at random places and get rid of those shows.
Yes, 100%. Oh, how's my mic today, by the way? I don't have my popper.
I think it's fine.
Yeah?
Clean.
I should have checked that at the start.
We've got a very sensitive ear. We would have flagged it with you and said, look, you need to sort it out.
Grand. The
Yeah.
quality check is done anyway. 5
Don't
minutes
worry.
before the end.
Yes. Top quality is a priority on Iden's leading podcast, whatever that is.
In all things TV, football, and food related.
Yeah. Just not this week. Just TV and food related.
Yeah, we dabble. We have fingers in many pies.
This is our breakout week, you know. This is like when Bruce Willis did a love film or something, you know. we broke the character.
He was on Moonlighting for years, in fairness.
Yeah, before Pulp Fiction, he did like a lot of flops too, didn't he?
Oh,
like,
he was
Pulp
in a
Fiction
bad way.
It kind of brought him back.
Yeah. Fucking that movie Bonfire of the Vanities nearly killed his career, nearly killed Tom Hanks' career before it began, really. nearly killed. I think Michelle Pfeiffer was in it. Brian De Palma, great director, and that movie fucking nearly killed his career. Jesus, bad time with that movie.
Never even heard of it.
Exactly. I haven't seen it. I think I only know it because it's a notorious flop. Because it was based on like this hugely popular book, and it had like these huge stars in it who like it was like can't miss, and it missed.
Mhm. And he's very unwell now, isn't he, Bruce Willis?
I think so. He can't remember his lines or whatever it is. He's retired.
Yeah, he just probably did the right thing and kind of go out as we remember him, not
Well,
what he might be.
I mean, to be fair, he's just made nothing but shit for about 20 years. So
I don't know. There was that film.
Looper,
Recently. Yeah.
that was nearly
was
10
alright.
years ago. Is it?
Oh, really? Time. Social construct.
Hmm. I mean, The Sixth Sense was pretty good, but I guess that was like
It's
what,
22,
20 years.
24 years ago.
Well, you know what? Some people only make one good movie and they live off that. I mean, how many one-hit wonders are there in music? You know,
Very true.
You know, it's okay to be good just once and live off that. I'm okay with that. I respect it.
Fair enough.
A bit like Harry Kane, really, isn't
Oh, I was gonna say something about Liverpool, but fuck.
it? Sorry. Liverpool would have actually worked a bit better because, one title.
I know Klopp had like 2 or 3 hits.
Yeah. So much
Um,
come.
he should get a statue. I said it already. I didn't say it. I didn't say it on the PUPcast. That man should get a statue.
Yeah.
Worse people get statues than him. It's not
Yeah,
his fault that
Yeah,
yeah,
like
billionaires. It's not his fault that Man City were just the best team in the world at the same time as Liverpool were the second best team in the world. You know,
it's Liverpool at their best Premier League team of all time.
I can understand how I was saying for years that people should enjoy Klopp and enjoy Liverpool because they're the only ones challenging Man City, and Man City will be cleaning up if it wasn't for that. Now Arsenal are doing it, and everyone loves it, and they're like, Arsenal are so great, Arteta is so great. It's like,
yeah.
well, oh yeah. There you go. Anyway,
Fickle.
we're not talking football. We got away with it.
We got away with it. Yeah, we've 60 seconds left here.
Perfect. That's all we needed.
Oh, Kieran, wrap us up.
Fuck. Up the fucking food lugs.
Yeah, up
Yeah.
the bread and butter.
Up the bread and butter, yeah.
Up the tinned fucking lasagna.
Bread and butter is the number one food. You'll never sing that.
Yeah, I mean, if anyone agrees with that, I'll be shocked. Roast potatoes all the
I'm
way.
not saying it. I mean, okay, fine.
Both are good. Both are
Yeah.
good.
They're
Tom,
both good.
Let us know.
Stop dividing us.
Okay.
Let them coexist.
Let us know the best food in the world. We'll have a better think of it and
Okay.
let you know next time.
Come on, the arse.
You've been listening to the Put 'em Under Pressure podcast. To keep up to date with all of our content, give us a follow on Spotify, YouTube, and Facebook. Outro music. Boom.
That was good.
That was good, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh my.
We'll prepare and we'll go and we'll do our best. We'll put them under pressure.